Have you ever spent like half an hour digging through your company's internal wiki just trying to find one single document? It is total chaos. But, that chaos is exactly what the Atlassian Confluence Administrator exam is designed to solve. Today, we're tackling ACA 920, 30 questions, 60 minutes, 72% to pass. Let's get right into it.
Yeah, to set the stage, imagine a new marketing team member needs a specific campaign guideline. They know the page contains the phrase Q4 strategy, and it was created by a user named jsmith.
Okay.
But they have no idea which space it lives in. How do you efficiently track that down?
Well, my first instinct is to just hit the recent tab and check under, like created by me or recently worked on.
Yeah.
It's an availability bias. You just want to check what's easiest and right in front of you.
Right, and a lot of people fall into that trap.
Yeah.
On the opposite extreme, I've seen admins try to run a full-site XML export just to run a text search across the raw data.
Wait, an XML export? That means pulling the entire database structure of the wiki just to find 2 words? I mean, that doesn't scale at all.
Yeah, precisely. The actual solution is to use the global search bar, but specifically apply the contributor and text filters.
Oh, that makes perfect sense. Instead of forcing the server to read every single page like the XML export or manually clicking through spaces, you're just querying the metadata tags.
Exactly.
It's like looking up a book by its author in a digital catalog rather than walking up and down every library aisle.
That's a great way to look at it. Finding a well-tagged page is one thing, but creating consistency across thousands of pages is where it gets really complicated.
Right. Picture a project manager who wants every team meeting note to have the exact same structure. Like mandatory headings for action items and decisions?
Sure.
They want this automatic. Honestly, why not just create a draft page and tell the team to copy it every time?
Well, that's the status quo trap.
Yeah.
Relying on human behavior to manually copy a draft inevitably leads to errors, deleted headings, or someone just forgetting entirely.
Yeah, sure.
Another trap is trying to build a complex global template when you only need it for one specific team.
So the system-level approach is setting up a space blueprint or a space template just for that team's meeting notes.
Yes. A template acts as a system-level mold. When you hit Create, the backend generates the page with that exact HTML structure already baked in.
And standardizing those pages is crucial because it allows us to aggregate data later, right? But what happens when that aggregation fails?
Good question. Let's say a user sets up a page properties report macro to build a dashboard. The macro's label is set to project status, and the space is set to current space.
Okay, I'm with you.
But one specific page with that exact label is completely missing from the rendered table on the screen.
My immediate thought is pagination. I see a table and just sort of anchor onto the idea that the macro has a default 10-page limit and this missing page is number 11.
I get that. Or some might suspect the macro is just embedded incorrectly inside a layout column, breaking the front-end display. But the real culprit here is actually the page restrictions.
Ah, so the macro itself respects security. How does that actually work under the hood?
Well, Confluence runs the database query to gather those pages before it renders the front-end macro.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so if the user viewing the report doesn't have permission to see a specific page, the backend just strips it out of the results entirely.
It's like a bouncer checking the VIP list at the door. If you aren't on the list, you don't even make it inside to be in the club's photos. That completely rules out arbitrary display limits or formatting glitches.
It's a great security mechanism. But while security hides data from unauthorized eyes, preserving data when someone makes a mistake is a completely different challenge.
Let's look at the version history console. Say we're on version 18, where a user just added some vital scalability notes.
Right.
But if we look back at version 14, someone accidentally deleted a critical architecture diagram. We need the diagram back, but we absolutely cannot lose the new text from version 18.
The temptation here is to look for an automated merge tool, thinking the software can just intelligently combine them.
I'd honestly just hit restore on version 13, right before the deletion happened.
If you restore version 13, you overwrite the timeline. You wipe out all the work from version 14 through 18.
Oh, yikes.
Yeah, and Confluence doesn't have an auto-merge for conflicting block elements like diagrams. You simply view version 13, copy the diagram, return to the current version 18, and paste it.
So you're literally just using your computer's clipboard. Because the diagram is essentially just an HTML asset, You can extract it without touching the database's version timeline at all. It's surgical precision.
Which is just as vital for access control, actually.
Speaking of which, say a space admin needs to give a contractor temporary view and add page access to the engineering space.
Okay.
Right now, that space is completely locked down to the internal staff group. For convenience, why not just add the contractor to the internal staff group?
That is a massive over-provisioning trap. You're giving a temporary guest the master key to the entire building instead of a visitor badge.
Right, because they'd get access to every space that internal group can see. So we don't change the group, and we definitely don't open the space to the public. You add the contractor's individual user account directly to the space permissions for engineering.
Correct. You bypass the group entirely, granting targeted access at the space level.
So to really master this deep dive, you have to understand how to efficiently query metadata through global search and filtering, rather than pulling raw database exports.
And you need to rely on system-level formatting by deploying space templates and blueprints so you aren't trusting human copy-pasting.
Then there's the back-end logic, understanding how page properties report and permissions interact, because security always queries before the display macro renders.
You also have to know the physical limits of page history and version restoration, knowing exactly when a manual copy-paste is safer than rolling back the server.
Finally, you need precise control over space permissions management to avoid giving contractors the keys to the kingdom, which leaves you with a question for your own day-to-day work. How often does your team's desire for convenience accidentally compromise the principle of least privilege?